Rachel.
I'm Brian.
And we are
The Bakers.
The Bakers. Mother's Day was always a difficult time for us because we struggled for a while having kids and coming to church and seeing all the families was very difficult and a hard time for us.
I think it was just tough knowing that we weren't able to have children and just a tough Mother's Day and Father's Day. Just something missing, that missing, that's something we always craved and longed for in our lives.
It was a couple years of me going to fertility doctors and doing multiple procedures. And in the beginning, you feel very hopeful that you're just going to go for like one procedure and then a month later, you're gonna have a baby. And so you're all excited. You're like, okay, no big deal. I'll just do this and I'll end up with a child. But then it's every month you're doing another procedure and at the end of each month you get a phone call that says you're not pregnant, and then you go back to the doctor and the same thing and you're not pregnant, and over again. We did our first IVF procedure and we got a phone call that said that we were pregnant, but my numbers were really low. But I was still so excited because all this time I had been taking pregnancy tests and never end up being pregnant. So I was really excited. I remember my mom and dad taking me out to dinner and telling the waitress we're gonna be grandparents. And then 2 days later, we found out, the nurse called me and said, you're not pregnant anymore. And it wasn't even like you lost a baby. It was just like you're not pregnant. And when you're asking questions, they just say you have to wait to talk to the doctor. That was a long. They wanted us to go ahead and do IVF right away, but I was still kind of mourning the loss of losing the kids. That they put 2 embryos in us, so losing 2 babies. So I was mourning that. You're not in control of the situation. There were so many times where I'm like, I have to take the shots at this certain time, and I have to do this and this, and if I don't do it exactly right, then I won't have a baby. And I felt that way.
I don't know if I was just trying to deal with that pain on my own. Going from blaming God, being angry, being sad. It was just a difficult time. I think there was definitely some depression along with that as well, and just the whole process of
it's okay not to be okay. I feel like a lot of the time you felt like you had to hide it, and it was almost a pride thing, because the people that didn't know I was struggling through infertility, I would try to be like, I'm fine, I'm okay, and it's okay to struggle with things and to confide in others.
Let go and give it to God. We think we can control things, or but we're not in control, and God's in control. And just trust in those who are close to you, your friends and your family, and just pray about it and give that all that fear and all that pain and just release it and let it go. And you don't have to carry it on your own. You can give it to God.
I felt like God really took a holiday that was really hard for us and turned it around into a good holiday. And we were actually here, it was on Mother's Day, and we were helping out with the kids group upstairs, and they called me and they said that I had 5 embryos. I was so excited. We came to the service and my mom was here, and I told her, guess what, I have 5 embryos. And I felt like that was like my first actual Mother's Day, because I had like the secret that I was already a mom to like 5 kids. It was probably 6 months later that we decided to do IVF again. And we ended up they called us and they're like, oh wow, your numbers are really high, and it was exciting. And then 2 days later they're like, wow, they tripled, and they're like, how many embryos did you put in? And I said 2, and they're like, oh yeah, that's definitely twins. And then when Brian came home from work, I had a sign that said we're having twins, and it had the ultrasound with both their pictures on it. So that was really exciting.
August was born at 11:10 and Brianna was born at 11:11 on Mother's Day, and just like that was pretty powerful. And just to have the babies and the twins, and we named August, her middle name is Patience, August Patience. After that,
Because we were patiently waiting for God to give us a baby.
Amen.
The doctor would come in, and there were some kids, some people that were interning, like nurses and stuff, and he would say, okay, this is August Baker, and this is what's going on with her, and this is Mom. And then he's like, well, I guess we can stay in this room again, because Brianna Baker, we're going to be talking about her too, and this is Mom. And it just was the best feeling in the world just to hear them say Mom and to two babies. Even though I feel like there's so many people in the world, that how could God really pay attention to my problems? I saw that God really does love me, that he took such a horrible holiday and he made it into something special.
All that we've been through, we just want to say, no matter what you're going through, no matter how hard it is during this time, on this difficult day or day of celebration, we'd like to wish you a happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.